Hey there, innies and outies, Fox Logic here. So, in my original recording, my mic's audio didn't record. So, I am actually recording over the video that I've already created. So, in this video, I pretty much show you how I set up a little enclosure for my crafting station here, which is surrounded by behemoth gates. I actually did manage to finish my Behemoth Gate perimeter, which keeps my little area safe from predators like Rexes and Carnos and Alphas and all of that. So I make it pretty safe for me to be here, and I can start taking down the Behemoth Gates in the middle. So this little pond here is now my little pond, which is pretty cool. The Behemoth Gates in the center are neat, I guess, but it makes me feel kind of claustrophobic, and I'd rather just have uh, a crafting station housing. So, unfortunately for me, I have to take down the behemoth gates in the center. Which, if you had a mod that gave you the ability to pick things up, S Plus is awesome. I would be able to just simply pick up these behemoth gates and use them elsewhere. But unfortunately, I do not have that mod. I'm trying to play this without any mods on my servers. That way I can show you as close as I can to what it's like to be on official servers which don't have mods. So I am having to demolish them. I go back, I pick up things that I can't carry, I return to my boxes, and I just put the materials back for later use, which I definitely use them. I'll need to use the wood and thatch and stone and fiber for all kinds of things. So it is nice that I am getting materials back with demolishing the behemoth gates. I just wish I didn't have to demolish them because I could always go out and farm more. But for now, this works. So I'm pretty much going out, taking the behemoth gates down, getting encumbered, dropping what I can't carry, and remembering where I dropped things and just ferrying resources back and forth, which is kind of boring, but it's just the stage that I'm in. I'm still in Stone Age or Stone Stage, and so I'm just doing what I can. Um, Getting the materials back will be helpful. I make crop plots and ladders and doors and enclosures for my animals, so I'll definitely use it. I also will need to use the wood and the thatch to burn things. That way I can make cooked cooked food for me, light and warmth for preserving bins and compost bins. They'll need to use thatch, so I will use this stuff. It's just a giant pain to have to take this stuff down. But as soon as I get this stuff down, uh, my area will seem a little bit bigger, I'm hoping. But yeah, I'm just getting down the last behemoth gate in the center, getting encumbered, having to drop things, the whole deal, ferrying stuff back and forth, which I've been saying, but that's just what it is. Arc can be a little bit tedious at this stage. But yeah, with all of this resources back, um, I'll be able to expand. Just need to make sure that I have everything back. But yeah, now you can see that I have quite a big area that I can work with. I'll probably build from the island that I'm currently settled on to the island across the way on my pond. So in order to expand my crafting station, I'll have to move my animals as they present clipping issues. So I'll move my bird or my Pteranodon. I'm moving my Anki over so that way I can build outwards from the storage boxes. Cool. So I did pre-construct some things off camera so that way I could just put it all down while recording rather than having to go back and forth. I think I made a bit too much, but it's fine. Now here I actually run into a clipping issue. Uh, the storage boxes, I'm pretty sure, are the issue because I can't put down the foundation. So there are ways around it. So I'm trying to see pretty much how I want my base to be set up. Putting the foundations down first gives me an idea on how big it's going to be. Um, but yeah, having to deal with clipping issues is really frustrating. So I find out here I can build around the clipping issue, but I will have to move those boxes if I want to continue. I can put the walls and ceilings up, so that can be something that I can tackle later. Plus, moving those boxes around is going to be a pain because I'll have to ferry everything in these boxes over to new boxes, which I plan to do anyway, but it's just annoying. So I pre-made the door, I pre-made walls. I just have to figure out where I want to put the door. So if I want to, like say for instance, I'm coming in from a meat run, how do I want to approach my base? I want to make sure that it's easy and convenient for me. So I end up placing the door somewhere over here first. So the door pretty much just clips to the foundations. And I don't want it to be too high off the ground, otherwise I'll have a hard time getting in without a ramp. But yep, I just work on enclosing my crafting stations, that way it can be safe. Just kind of wandering around, putting walls down. Now here I decide to show that you can replace things by putting something over something that's already been placed, and that's how you upgrade. Unfortunately, when you place stuff down, it breaks them. So when I go to make this out of metal, I can just make the metal components or structures and then place them down over things that already exist and get the stone back. Kind of like with the behemoth gates, it's not going to be exactly the amount of stone, thatch, and wood, but I still get materials back, so I guess that works. So when it comes to base building for me, I don't really necessarily like super tight spaces. So I will make my walls pretty tall, so that way I feel like I'm not in a claustrophobic situation. So I'll probably go about 3 high. So I'm on the second one, making sure I'm completing the perimeter. Awesome. So we'll do the third level high. Now something neat if you are building something that's really tall is you can use your bird, and with the help of an Argent you can reach high places that would otherwise be difficult if you were just trying to place them from standing on the ground. So I basically just kind of slowly come over. When you're using the Argent, hold down X and the Argent will come to a stop. Not a complete stop. It takes a while to slow down, but it does come to a stop, so that way you can gauge where to place things. But I'm not making something super tall. I'm just making it 3 high, so I can continue to stand on the ground and face up, but pretty much anything taller than this, you would need the help of a bird. So I'm going to go around and finish the third level. Okay, so now I'm putting down the ceilings. I've made so much that I get encumbered, so I will split it in half, place it down, and when you're placing a ceiling, you can either look up or you can jump, and jumping gives you the ability to place at least one more tall. Otherwise, I will need the help of the bird. So I'll place this down and make a little platform up here. I prefer to use the bird when it comes to putting down ceilings. I don't know if I can use the Pteranodon. Yeah, the Pteranodon is overweight. So I'll use the Argent, and I'll fly up top to the platform that I've created, and I'll land and hopefully jump off. Alright, there we go. I actually fell off the first time. So I'll continue putting down the ceilings. I feel like it's easier to put down ceilings when you're standing on them rather than looking up. Plus, if something goes wrong, it's easier to pick it up from up here than it is from down there. So there, I have my little enclosure. Not exactly perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it. So, okay. Looks like I will need a ramp, as getting in the door isn't exactly smooth. You have to jump into it. So the door is a little too high. So what I'll do is I'll make a ramp. You type in ramp, you grab the wooden ramp, and that is usually thatch wood and I think fiber. So I'll need to get fiber, and I'll make the ramp. Cool. Put my stuff back and put the ramp down. Unfortunately here I'm dealing with clipping issues. So for some reason it doesn't want to put the ramp down, as the ramp is either clipping into the wall or it's clipping into the foundation, or it could actually be clipping into the ground. So it's obstructed and won't be placed down, which is annoying. So I'm gonna have to find a new place to put the door, somewhere where the ramp can reach. So looks like I'm dealing with some clipping issues here, but I find a spot. When you're placing something down, you're trying to find places for things to click to. You can hit Q or you can hit A, or no, E, sorry. So Q or E, you can cycle through where they can clip. So it looks like I want the ramp to actually reach the top of the foundations rather than just below the top of the foundations. So right here might be a good spot, although my smithy is in the way. So I'm gonna have to pick this up and put it one over. I kind of didn't want to place it here, as I kind of felt like this area was already pretty cluttered. There's a Pteranodon running into my other Pteranodon. But anyway, it looks like this is the only spot that I can put the ramp down, which is frustrating. So now I've got two big holes, technically three, in my base. So I'll put stuff away as I go, just to kind of keep things a little bit organized. I am also trying to make narcotic while I do things, so that way I can get a little bit more XP. So I pretty much try to keep the narcotic going while I do base stuff. That way it's high-end multitasking as much as I can. I will have to move all of these boxes over, which I do plan to do. So that way the little area that I come into the basin isn't totally cluttered, like right here. This is obnoxious. So I will be making new boxes and moving my materials over to new boxes that are hopefully against the wall. So with this area, I'm pretty sure the reason why it's clipping is because those boxes are up against, like right up against that foundation there. So I'm showing you right here. It's like just that little bit provides a clipping issue, which is annoying. So the next thing I want to do is I want to put my garden down, and I want to put my garden on top of my base. So I think I'm going to put the ladder to reach my garden in the corner here. So I'm going to have to come up with a way to get up there. Um, I'll probably make like a hatch door frame. Or no, here I'm making the medium crop plots. So I'll learn the medium crops for our exotic crops. And then I have the medium crops that I can make in my inventory. So they take fiber, stone, thatch, wood, and now I can make some medium crop plots. So I'll make enough for each of the crops. There's 4 of them. Long grass, savo root, citronal, and rock carrot, which is a carrot. So I've basically made my crops. I'll also need to make the smaller crops for the berries. So I actually automatically learn small crop plot because in order to learn the medium one, you have to have learned the smaller one. And same thing goes for the large one. So once you learn the large one, you'll learn the small one and the medium one. The nice thing is that crop plots tend to also, or crop plot blueprints tend to also drop in the drops around the map. That's probably the most common thing that they drop. So if I do some drop hunting, I'll probably get all the blueprints, and then when I do a mind wipe, I won't have to learn them, which is kind of nice. So now I have 4 medium crop plots, 4 small crop plots, and I'll be able to start my little garden. I just need to find a way to get up there and get away from the clutter that I've created here. I'll go ahead and pet the chode. So I'm going to go up top, if I can. I guess, yeah, I'm going to go with this corner, so I have to kind of orient myself with this corner. And I'll need to put down a hatch frame. So I'll learn the hatch frame and the ladder, so that way I can get up there. And I'll go ahead and make the hatch frame and the ladder. That way I just have to fly up there once. There we go. Stone hatch frame. So stone, thatch, wood. There we go. Now for the ladder, stone that it's a wood, thatch, and fiber. There we go. Pretty easy. Cool. So time to put down the hatch frame. I'll fly up there, and it's that corner there. So in order to pick this corner up, I need to make sure that I'm standing on another ceiling, not standing on the actual ceiling that I'm trying to pick up, otherwise I'll fall down. So I have to know where the line is that divides the 2 ceilings, stand on the ceiling I'm not picking up, and then pick up the ceiling or demolish the ceiling that I'm getting rid of. Because if you're not paying attention to that, you will demolish a ceiling and you'll fall down. So I've got the hatch frame up, which I can put a trap door in, and I can put my ladder down. Now ladders are really easy to mess up. They're pretty simple to make, but you can, when you're putting ladders down, accidentally put them where you don't want them. As you can see here, there's a ton of clipping options or connecting options. So I have my ladder up. I'll put the extra ladder away, but now I can climb up without the assistance of my Argent, which I'll put down at the bottom with my other dinos. So now I can kind of come and go from the top level as much as I please, and I can start putting down my crop plots. So I'm deciding how I want to set this up. I can either, I'll just put it here. There we go. Now, clipping is annoying because you have to get a certain distance away from the things that you place down. So there's a lot of like finicky things that you have to contend with. It wants to be closed. If you're on a server, you can turn off clipping, which makes things so much easier. But for now, this works. So I've got my 4 medium ones down, my 4 little ones for my berries. There we go. Cool. So I have my crop plots down, or the beginning of my garden. And it's time to make the compost bins. Because in order to have my garden going, I'm going to need to have fertilizer. So compost bin is fiber, thatch, and wood. There we go. I'll make 2. So I'll put away the wood and the fiber, but I will need the thatch because in order to make fertilizer, it takes 3 poop and 50 thatch. So I'll bring a bunch of thatch with me just in case. There we go. And I think I might put my compost bins here. So I can place them like this, but honestly, I'll just put them up against the wall so that way I feel like I have a lot more room for dinosaurs to wander around. And it's easier to get to the compost bins. There we go. My 2 compost bins. I'll place the thatch in them, as the compost bins don't quite have very much room. So 2 thatch, and then it's like 5 or 6 places for poop. Actually, that works because you need 3 poop per fertilizer. So if you put down 2 thatch, then you'll have enough thatch to not worry too much about. But then 6 poop is 2 fertilizer, so it'll do 2 fertilizer at a time. I'll put everything back. And I'll put the poop in the compost bin. So the poop lasts longer in the compost bin than it would in my inventory by days. So compost bins also keep poop, which is kind of nice. So I pretty much just go around and collect poop from my animals, put it in the compost bin whenever I see it, and that will go ahead and make some fertilizer for my crops. So I have a lot of stuff I need to do for my base. I'll go ahead and get the seeds. So I need long grass, citronal, rock carrot, and savo root, which you can get from any bushes. And they're easy to get with animals that harvest bushes. So I'm just going to go around my little island, clean up the bushes with the Anki, and hopefully get all of the exotic vegetables. Just pretty much any bush that's in this area. Alright, so we have the savo root, rock carrot, and long grass. We didn't get a citronal, but I'll grab the mejoberry and the narcotic because I will be using a lot of that. And I'll go plant them. Cool. So I think what I'm going to do I'll go to the other one. So I'm gonna put the long grass here. I'll probably put the citronal here. So this is gonna be savo root, which is potatoes, and rock carrots for carrots. I will need more narcotic, so I'll put more narcotic into these crop plots. And then I'll put mejo berries into this one. Cool. So I just need citronal. That's the only thing that didn't drop. But I'll put these seeds away just in case I want to plant more. And I'll keep picking up poop. That's pretty much what you do when you do base stuff, is you just pick up poop, make fertilizer, make narcotic, kind of just base stuff, but that's it. So, sorry this video was so weird. Thanks so much for watching, you guys.